Good morning, everyone, and happy Losar, happy Tibetan New Year. On Saturday we started 2 weeks of miracle. So every action we do for the next couple of weeks, it is said that the merits that we accumulate are multiplied by 100 million. So very welcome for this meditation. We'll have meditation every morning at 9 a.m. from Monday to Friday. And don't forget that tonight at 6:30 we have Mr. Kailash Boda, who is the Hindi interpreter of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. He will give a teaching at Tushita in person and online at 6:30 p.m. So most welcome to join for that, and this will be in Hindi only. So let us start our session this morning by looking at our body posture, ideally sitting on the floor. The best would be in full lotus posture. That might be a little bit difficult. You can sit in half lotus. You can sit cross-legged or in Burmese style with one leg in front of the other. But make sure you're comfortable. You're not pushing your body because we are sitting like this for about half an hour. So the most important thing for the posture is for your back to be straight, for your body to be upright. So if you're sitting on a chair, that's completely fine. Just make sure you're not leaning against the support of the chair. And also you're not, leaning forward. Your back is straight, your spine is aligned, your body is upright. This is the most important thing. The hands are in the meditation mudra, in the concentration mudra. So your right hand is on top of the left. Your two thumbs are slightly touching, and this rests at your lap. The shoulders are even and relaxed. So even though the body is upright, your back is straight, you're flexible, you can easily turn from left to right. The neck is aligned with the spine. You can slightly tilt the head forward, but not too much. You can place your tongue towards the upper palate, just behind the upper teeth. This helps reduce the production of saliva. And finally, the eyes are not completely closed. You can leave them slightly open, but we are not paying attention to what we are seeing. It is the mental consciousness that meditates. Now let us look at our motivation. Why are we meditating? It is to develop, especially when it comes to calm abiding, when it comes to Shamatha or Shine in Tibetan. We also call it single-pointed concentration in English. The main focus is to develop these two mental factors, to train in these two mental factors of introspection and mindfulness that are really necessary for us to be able to get some control over our minds, to be able to see what is happening in our mind and always direct it to a virtuous object. So introspection is the one that notices what's happening in our minds, and mindfulness makes sure we stay on a virtuous object and we don't forget our virtuous object. Why we want to control our mind, why we want to develop these mental factors, is because since beginningless time, we have been controlled by our afflictions. We are under the power of karma and afflictions. So constantly we are making experiences that we actually don't choose. Sometimes we meet with pleasant experiences. Very often we meet with unpleasant experiences. And these are just, the result of the negative karma we have accumulated in the past. And every time we meet with a good experience, every time we have a pleasant feeling, it is the result of a positive karma we have accumulated in the past. So we want to control our mind to stop, producing these negative karmas, only engage in virtuous actions. But more than that, altogether, we try not to be subject to karma anymore, not to be subject to uncontrolled death and rebirth. We want to get control over our experiences totally. They want to achieve this state, what we call nirvana, freedom from suffering, freedom from the afflictions. And we can contemplate how it is not only ourselves, who are under the power of karma and afflictions. We can contemplate how all sentient beings, are in the same boat, are in the same condition. Since beginningless time, I and all sentient beings, we have this apprehension, this mistaken apprehension of a solidly existing sense of I. We have a sense of a very solid, a very independent, a very objective self. And because of this, we have this feeling, we are the center of the universe. We feel that we are more important than others. And because of this mistaken view, all kinds of mental afflictions, all kinds of disturbing emotions arise, such as attachment, anger, pride, jealousy, and so on and so forth, you name it, depression, anxiety, and so on and so forth. And because of these afflictions, we constantly engage in those negative karmas we were talking about, such as killing, stealing, lying, and so on and so forth. And because of this, inevitably, we experience unpleasant things in our lives and in the future. So as humans, maybe our present condition is not so bad. We have some good karma ripening. We are born as human. Maybe we have a good environment, good family, good job, and so on and so forth. But we can easily see, even with our own eyes, that many people are suffering from poverty, suffering from sickness, or living in countries that are at war, and so on and so forth. So we can relate, we can see how many beings are going through the different types of suffering. Also in the animal realm, we can see with our eyes in the wilderness how animals are constantly living in fear of being eaten alive by other animals, bigger animals, stronger animals. We can imagine what it must be like to be born in the realms that we cannot see with our own eyes, such as the hungry ghost realms, the hell realms that the Buddha talked about. Can you imagine? I think Lama Zopa Rinpoche used to say that if you take a hot burning coal and you put it on your skin, the pain you experience, the suffering you experience is really nothing compared to the suffering that one can experience in the hell realms, in the hot hells, where the burning is constant and much more intense. Try to generate a sense of compassion for yourself and for all sentient beings, wishing them to be free from suffering and the causes of suffering, which are karma and afflictions. May all sentient beings be free from suffering and the causes of suffering, and try to generate a sense of responsibility as well, a sense of altruism. At present, I have this precious human life with so many endowments, so many freedoms. I have all my physical, mental capacities, and most importantly, I am born in a world at a time where the Buddha has appeared 2,600 years ago. The Buddha has taught, and to this day, the teachings are very much available, especially in this era, with internet. We're so fortunate. Anytime we can click, can connect on YouTube, for example, access the channel of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, for example, who's a truly living Buddha on this earth. We can listen to the teachings, we can contemplate on the teachings, and we can meditate on the teachings. We have all the tools that are required for us to transform our minds. And more than that, there are so many other followers of the Buddha's teachings and so many people who are supporting the Sangha, so many people are supporting the students of Buddha Dharma. So lucky, so fortunate. So we have this amazing, incredible opportunity to transform our minds. It is said that this opportunity is very, very rare. So we must take responsibility. I must transform my mind in this very life to be able to free sentient beings from suffering and the causes of suffering. But how can I do that? How can I help others if I myself, I'm caught in this iron net of self-grasping? I'm caught in samsara myself. First, I must wake up myself. I must transform my mind, realize the ultimate nature of all things. I must free myself from all my afflictions. I must free myself from even my cognitive obscurations and achieve the state of omniscience, achieve the state of a Buddha, a fully awakened Buddha. Only then will I be able to benefit sentient beings unmistakenly with this omniscience as well as this perfect love, perfect power. I will be able to guide sentient beings, to teach them exactly according to their dispositions so that they may progress. So try to generate this most beautiful mind that we call bodhicitta in Sanskrit, Janchu Sem in Tibetan, or the mind of awakening in English. Thinking, may I become a Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. So with this motivation in mind, we will engage in Shamatha practice. We have looked at our body posture. The second thing to look at is our object of meditation. What are we actually meditating on? So if you're familiar with Shamatha, you can bring to mind the object you usually take for this meditation. If you're not familiar, what I would recommend is to take the breathing sensation at the entrance of the nostrils and try to focus on that for the entire duration of the meditation. Try to place all your attention, all your focus on the breathing sensation at the entrance of the nostrils and try to remain there without being distracted. There are two main ways we get distracted. The first one is called excitement. So basically we are distracted with thoughts. And usually it is thoughts about the past, thoughts about the future, what I will do later today, what I will have for lunch, and so on and so forth. Thinking about yesterday, what happened last night, what happened last week, and so on and so forth. This is the first way we get distracted, excitement. The second one is called laxity. We also call it dullness or lethargy. Basically, we don't put enough application in our meditation, and therefore we lose our object because the mind starts to sink. We kind of, fall asleep. So this is the second way we lose our object. The second way we get distracted from our object, lethargy or laxity. And finally, there are two remedies against those. The first one is called introspection. Introspection, or alertness, we also call it, is a small part of your mind that throughout the meditation is constantly checking, am I meditating? Am I concentrated on my mental object? So your main mind, your main focus is on your object of meditation, but in the background, you kind of have this police agent or security agent that is checking, what is my mind doing? Is my mind meditating? Is my mind focused on my mental object? Or has my mind wandered? Have I been distracted with thoughts or with lethargy? And if this introspection notices that the mind has wandered, then we use the second antidote, the second mental factor that is called mindfulness. And the role of mindfulness is to remember, basically, the object of meditation and to bring the mind back to the object of meditation. It is a little bit like if at home you have a pet dog and you notice that the dog runs away. This is introspection. Once you notice that the dog ran away, you go after him and you bring him back home, and you can even imagine, tying him on a leash around a pillar. So this would be the mental factor of mindfulness. Noticing that the mind has wandered is introspection. Bringing the mind back onto the object and making sure it stays onto the object, this is mindfulness. So we will train in those mental factors for about 10 minutes. For 10 minutes, we'll try to remain on our object of meditation and make use of the antidotes. Gently come out of the meditation, and we can dedicate the merits that we have accumulated by trying to develop our mental factors of introspection and mindfulness, so that we may soon, very soon, achieve the state of full awakening, to be able to benefit all sentient beings living non-aside. May the precious mind of bodhicitta that has not a reason arise and grow, and may that which has a reason not diminish, but increase forevermore. May the wisdom realizing emptiness that has not a reason arise and grow, and may that which has a reason not diminish, but increase forevermore. We dedicate also for the long and healthy lives of our spiritual teachers, in particular His Holiness the Dalai Lama. May he have a very long and healthy life. May he continue to teach us for a very long time. And may his holy wishes spontaneously fulfill. We dedicate the merits for the swift return of our spiritual director, Lama Zopa Rinpoche. May we soon have the fortune to find his unmistaken reincarnation, so that Rinpoche may continue to guide us and to lead the organization. And finally, due to the merits we have accumulated here and the merits we have accumulated in the 3 times, as well as the merits of all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and all sentient beings, may the wars in the world immediately come to an end. May there be no new wars. May there be no famine, no epidemic, no natural disasters, catastrophes of the elements. May peace and harmony prevail in everyone's hearts and lives. Thank you very much for joining this morning, and yes, see you tonight. Kailash Bodha, the Hindi interpreter of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, will teach at 6:30 p.m. at Tushita, as well as here online on Zoom. You're most welcome to join. In Hindi only. So if you know people, who don't have the fortune to speak English, please invite them, especially, for example, the people who help you at home. Maybe it will be very beneficial for them to listen to these teachings in Hindi. And then we'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 for the morning meditation. And tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. we'll also have Medicine Buddha Puja. And on Thursday, we have our movie night at Tushita. Most welcome to join us for that. We will watch, this week we'll watch Cave in the Snow, which is a movie about Jensud Matenzin Palmo, who is an English nun from the early time, 60s or 70s. She became a nun, and she meditated for 12 years in a cave. So that's a very interesting movie about that. Most welcome to join us on Thursday. Have a very good day, everyone, and see you soon. Bye-bye.